the light bulb. And just like Tesla and Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the phone, our next guest is in the field of inventions as well. He started with a hobby. Actually, he has a background in green energy, which is a big subject right now, and he's trying to encourage people to invent, because we don't hear about much inventions these days. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for our inventor this evening. I give you Praveen Vettiyattil.
Hi, good morning all of you. So I'm here to tell you that all of you can invent. So I'm going to take the example of walking. It's not going to be easy to convince that everybody can invent. So I'm going to take an example. For the next few minutes, I'm going to compare a child learning to walk versus efforts by thousands of scientists and inventors and researchers from around the world trying to make a robot which can walk. First, some history. Al-Jazari, an Arab inventor, was the first to conceptualize a walking humanoid robot which can perform all the functionalities of a human being when commanded. That was in the 12th century, and Leonardo da Vinci also mentions in his diary of inventions that he independently conceived or conceptualized a robot which looks like a human being, walks like a human being, and can do all the functionalities of a human being. After 800 years, in 2011, Honda Corporation demonstrated the world's first walking robot with object avoidance capability, which means that it can walk, and if you walk against it, it will take diversions and continue walking. Now let's look at a baby trying to learn the process of walking. A baby conceptualizes this walking at the age of 3 months. Why do I say 3 months? Pediatricians tell me that babies learn to fix eyes on a moving object between the age of 1 and 3 months. By the age of 3 months, almost all babies can fix their eyes on a moving object. It's pretty logical to presume that for a baby to conceptualize walking, the baby should first be able to observe walking, for which the baby should attain eye fixation. So at the age of 3 months, the baby conceptualizes walking, and at the age of 15 months, the baby learns to walk and attains object avoidance. So 15 months minus 3 months, 12 months. Within 1 year, the baby somehow or the other, we don't know how the baby does it, but the baby somehow or the other replicates the entire learning process of 800 years of efforts on and off by very smart inventors and scientists to create a walking robot. Now this is not just the case of walking, this is the case for language learning, for pattern recognition, many other aspects of human beings. Now this is a simple comparison slide. You can see on the left side it's a humanoid robot, and on the right side it's a child. So 800 plus years from conceptualization for scientists to make a humanoid robot. For the child, walking is attained in 1 year. 60 plus years from component availability to walking for robots. Why do I say that? All the components that you see in a Honda robot, all the stepper motors, the radio, the IC chips were all available in the 1950s. All they have done is miniaturization and improvement of software. So this robot could have been done, the Honda walking robot which was demonstrated in 2011 could have been manufactured in 1950, but it would have been uglier, bulkier, and costlier. But all the components and technologies were available. In the same way, when a baby is born with hands and legs and muscles. So the baby takes 1.5 years from component availability, which is hands and legs, to learn to walk. Billions of dollars spent. Okay. Billions of dollars spent and millions of research hours used to make a humanoid robot. Baby takes help from parents. Supported by universities and corporates with huge amount of funding and lot of quality time, is self-taught. The baby defeats the humanoid robot in all aspects. In time it takes to learn to walk, in resource consumed, and every other conceivable aspect. We all have made an invention that took much longer to invent than the world's top 10 inventions. By the age of 15, the telephone, the radio, the plane, the car, the sewing machine were all invented more than 100 years back, except the LCD TV, or the normal TV. The computer kind of TV was invented in 1920s. But still, they were invented much earlier because it's much more complex to make a robot. It's much more complicated and time consuming to make a robot which can walk. So we in effect have made the world's top 10 inventions. It's equivalent, or we have exceeded it. Because walking is much more complicated than all of these inventions. Now some of you might wonder, or you can argue saying that, what's the use of a robot? A telephone can be used for so many important communications. Well, the robot is termed as the future machine. In future, the robot will also be your car. The robot can take you in your hands and run. In future, you can sit on the robot and the robot could fly away. In future, the robot could be your nurse. Honda has already made a hospital-friendly robot which can pour juice and give you medicines. So, a robot is the ultimate machine. It's the ultimate invention. And we are still not close to make a robot which can think and which can learn languages. And let me tell you, I don't have a proof for this, but the moment we achieve a robot which can think, the first thing it's going to do is not read a newspaper. The first thing it's going to do is not give you a good quality political commentary on a TV channel. The first thing it's going to do is invent. There's no difference between inventing and thinking. This is my logic. This is my strongest argument to tell you that we are all born violent inventors. I could not find a stronger adjective, so I use the word violent. That's why we say as creative as a child. We don't say as creative as Leonardo da Vinci, known as the world's best inventor. We don't say as creative as the world's top 10 inventors put together, because a child defeats all of them. And the child defeats all of them simply, without much effort. Hands down, eyes closed. This is a machine I manufactured, I prototyped to help the world's farmers. A couple of years back, I read in the newspapers that farmers are suffering because of recession and because of other reasons. Millions of acres of crop are failing because of shortage of rainfall or because of delayed rainfalls. Millions of acres of world's agriculture is in dry areas where there is no electricity. The only way for these farmers to water their crop is to depend on rains. And because of global warming and climate changes, rains are becoming more and more erratic. So if it rains in June this year, it rains in July next year. So the crops which are expecting water in June, they dry up in 15 days. So when I read this, I also discovered from Google that many farmers in distress because they don't have any fallback capital, are taking the ultimate step of committing suicide. This is happening in India, China, Africa, Libya, Egypt, in many countries which are not damn rich and have farming as a major part of the economy. Fortunately, in UAE, the government is supporting farmers and they appear to be rich. So I made this pedal powered pump. I wanted to solve this. I wanted to help the farmers. These are the people who make the food that we eat. So I made a machine which will make them independent of electricity or water. So now they can pedal when it rains. They can pedal and lift tons and tons of water, store in a tank, and then use it during the dry season. So I'm going to give a demonstration right here. It's easy to pedal. It's also a good exercise. So every day you wake up in the morning and exercise for 10 minutes and you can pump your own water into the top tank. It can reach 1,500 RPM, 2,000 RPM, and it's not very noisy. So easy. I can do this for 1 hour and I can talk my TEDx, but they won't allow me. So this was manufactured as a pump to help farmers, and once I pumped water, I could realize that this is not just a pump, this is any rotating machine. So the pump is only this much, this black thing. If I remove the pump and put a dynamo, it will charge a battery. Which means next year if Al-Kasbah wants to run a pedal powered TEDx, 10 people can be pedaling outside and power the whole theater here. Now, if you put a compressor and a condenser, it becomes a pedal powered fridge. All you need to do in a fridge is to rotate the compressor. In a fridge you use a motor, here you are the motor. The food you eat is the energy used. So you can pedal for half an hour and cool. You can pedal for 1 hour and cool 1 cubic foot of volume for 1 day. So if there is 10 members, if there are 10 members in a family, father and mother will exercise for half an hour to work the fridge. 2 children will pedal for half an hour to light. If you exercise for half an hour, you can charge enough energy into a battery to light 1 room for 1 day. And somebody will pedal to make the juice. This machine, with a small investment on solar, can allow you to live totally off-grid. At a time when people are talking about saving energy and saving environment, this is something which will create more independence. You don't have to depend on power. You can go and live in any remote area where there's good amount of sunshine. This is the machine being used as a pedal powered pump. The man is standing at a height of 9 meters. This pump can pump water to a height of 20 meters for 1 person. So if 2 people are standing on side by side, you can pump to 40 meters. If 4 people are standing, it could be 80 meters. And this is pumping with a flow of half liter per second, which is 30 liters per minute. That's why I'm saying 5 or 10 minutes of exercise in the morning, 10 minutes of exercise is not enough. So 10 minutes of exercise can pump enough water for your consumption for 1 day. Now after I made the pump, I got a better idea. The efficiency of pump is only 30%. But the efficiency of lifting is 100%. So with the same effort, you can lift 3 times, 2 times more water. That is pedal powered lifting. So I created this mechanism by which you would use a mechanism similar to a stepper mechanism, but not exactly a stepper mechanism. It's much cheaper, it's much simpler to manufacture. So the farmers can use this machine, lift 50 kilograms of water or 100 kilograms of water, and stop pedaling. There is a safety mechanism which will prevent the bucket from falling down. So you are pedaling, you feel unconscious, you stop it, go watch a movie, come back, and everything is there. You open a dog hook and put the pipe into a storage tank, you get lots and lots of water. lots and lots of water. Now when I train students or when I give talks, I tell students that you can invent that there is always some 5 or 10% of the population which says, I cannot invent. And I tell them, wait, that's the second question. The first question is, how do I invent? People ask me, how do I invent? And I tell them it's a 3-step procedure. It's like you put giraffe in a fridge. You open the fridge, put the giraffe in, and close the fridge. So step 1, live as usual, and problems would hunt for you. Step 2, you don't have to go looking for problems. It's not like job hunting. Problems will come looking for you. Every day in hundreds. When you face problems, check if the problems have been solved. If they are solved, implant the solution. Don't reinvent the wheel. If they are not solved, you are lucky. You are facing a unique problem. If not solved, solve it. Get new ideas. You get new ideas when you try to solve problems. Giving us problems is nature's way of giving us new ideas. We should listen to nature. If we don't face problems, if we get ideas without problems, we may not be able to appreciate the idea, or we may misuse the idea. Next time you face a problem, be happy. You would soon solve it, conceive a new idea, and sell the idea to become a billionaire. So be happy next time you face a problem. But don't think of a new idea when you're crossing the road. When you're crossing the road, look on left and right. But you have a lot of free time. Airports, the planes are delayed. In the elevator, when you're listening to a boring talk, you're free. So whenever I hear that this professor is going boring, I go and listen to his lectures, because then I get new ideas. Now sometimes people say that I cannot invent because I'm not Leonardo da Vinci, and I tell them, have you seen a child which says, Mama, walking is too complicated for me, so I'm going to use the wheelchair. I'm sorry about this. I can fall down and die. You don't understand. Is there a walking insurance? I'm going to use the wheelchair for the rest of my life. As long as you haven't said that, you can invent and change the world. You don't have to be an engineer or a science graduate or even a high school educated to invent. Many great inventions were made before the word scientist was invented, before there was formal education, before the word engineer was invented. Anybody who has faced a problem can invent. How would you feel the moment a new idea strikes you? So you follow the due process, you recognize the problem, and how would you feel? And finally you come out with a new idea. You feel like an incredible hug. The moment you get an idea which works, you feel like an incredible hug. Okay, 30 seconds left. Live example. Yesterday I was giving a presentation and I had to use my laser pointer. I realized when I looked at the screen, I lose eye contact. So how can I solve this? That is problem recognition. In 24 hours, I was thinking, you come up with an LCD screen with 50% reflectivity. When I point the laser here, it appears here. I'm sorry, I don't have time to give you a try. There's only 2 seconds left. Thank you very much.